To hear from August. Let's get into this last match of the day. They are fighting for to not get into relegation. This is an extremely important match for both of these teams. So let's see who's going to come out on top. Guys, please take it away.
Thank you very much, Zoe, and thank you, August, as well, for joining us. Johnny, here it is. Supernova versus Extinction. Lifeline, their final one. Both squads they're looking a little scared, I'd imagine. 1-5 for Supernova currently. Ryan, Jutsu, Astro, Renko, and Grapes leading the team. At least to start us off with, maybe we see a little bit of false. And Extinction also with only a single map win, or a single series win, sorry, under their belt. They are 1-4. Wub Nation, Zomba, Hitori, Nenwai, and Scuffed to start us off.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolute banger. I mean, the last place you want to find yourself in is the promotion relegation tournament, where you face off against some of the best teams from Face It, Masters, of course. And if you're Supernova, I feel like maybe you had a bit of a slow start. Obviously, a couple of your members, they were unavailable. Ryan was in Korea, for example. Maybe you feel like you found a bit of a groove. Extinction, on the other hand, I mean, this team right here, they've also kind of struggled to find their style, right? We've seen Hitori play some of the Orisa, spend more dive at times, Hitori on the Wrecking Ball, Winston, stuff like that. We're going to kick things off, actually, on Oasis University, so we'll slow things down. But I think as this series progresses, Jack, we're going to see lots of variety when it comes to playstyles and compositions from both of these teams.
One thing is always a constant, though, and that's Sombra on the Tracer. Same with Ryan, to be fair. Extinction banning the Freya too, Johnny, and then Hazard ban for Supernova. Point has been unlocked. Zomba's done a good job of, like, basically pushing Ryan all the way back. I mean, this is kind of insane. This solo Tracer right now just chasing Supernova. I don't think you're surviving this one, unfortunately. Big trades, though, as Hitori and Astro end up just picking up a lot of frags on their own, but Astro's the only one left. And Extinction will cap in the end.
Oh my god, Zomba's just on the fire to start here. I mean, we covered that game between Extinction and Nightmare where they started to come back, and Zomba obviously with a massive Tracer performance, which even in their last series last week earned themselves a target ban onto Zomba's Tracer once more. So as this series develops, I totally expect at some point, maybe for Supernova, to bust out that Tracer ban. Because if Zomba finds the upper hand against Ryan, that is just a Tracer diff you can't afford to lose.
Yeah, you can't really overcome that. Although it would hurt the team as well, to be fair, with Ryan maining the Tracer. Renko ends up popping that Lamb to save himself. Nice little Lango for himself, but unfortunately, Zomba hot on the tail. And again, man, this guy, he's a little freaky with it, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, this is just ridiculous. Zomba racking up the frags. Jutsu's going to find some exit frags here, but I doubt this will amount to anything.
Then why did a 360 to find that pulse?
That was clean. That was clean.
Quiet.
Yeah, busting out the moves. Good to see it. All right, Supernova here. Still waiting for Jutsu to get back here, but they built up some ults. Should be able to secure some kind of value here and get on the board.
I knew for what. Wooden's been used. Those lamps too. Zomba shut down finally. Terror Surge from Astro, creating a whole lot of space, but this rally a little bit too strong. Although saying that, Juice is still coming up with kills. Now is the time to go aggressive, though, with that overhealth. A return rally for Grapes. This is just support all combat in this small little mini room. I've never seen so much bloodbath, Johnny. I'm going to be real with you. Nice headshot from Jutsu as the cap comes through for Supernova. Oh, little double. Wait a minute. Okay.
That was a lot of headshots.
Okay, Jutsu.
That was kind of nasty.
Looking like lethal out here, no joke.
Lethal is just a bar now. All the casters are trying to be like Lethal.
100%. Lethal is definitely the bar, bro, of NA casty players.
This has been a long time coming for Lethal. Jutsu, I think, maybe looking for a Deadeye here.
Hunting, sir.
Oh. Well.
That was the saddest Tracer I ever did see.
That was, I don't know. I think they blinked into the library or something. Yeah, that was tough.
All good. Forgot the library card.
They got a window. They might do it again.
Yeah, they could like hard swing this though. Uh-oh. Supposed to be Orisa. What a window, by the way. You can see both sides. Not too bad. No, a little less so on the bit outside of the main though. Maybe not. Renko does exactly the same thing. Both maps basically trading. Oh, nice stick from Zomba. Renko uses the lamp. That shift coming in just in time, but still hounded down. Horrible position to be if you're the bat there, or any support for that matter, as Zomba just continues his tear. His mover's looking clean, and he still has the recall too. Here comes the rally from Nemwai. Nice little stuns. Grapes will result in a kill. Jutsu dead. Extinction with 99%. Surely the end here as well. There we go. Grapes desperately wanting that rally online for that final fight, but it is Extinction taking round 1.
And that really was Zomba just doing so much work on the Tracer. Off to a hot start at very first round. Rounded everybody up. Win the first fight. And Zomba cleaning up. This is a bit of a come up for Zomba. We obviously know that Zomba was a fantastic player already. But I feel like the last few weeks, the stuff we've seen from Zomba on the Tracer has just been unbelievable. 14-4 after the first round here. Some great performances that really helping Extinction out, and they're gonna need Zomba today if they're gonna avoid relegation, Joss.
Of course, Extinction, they still have another game after this. It's against Space Station, but you do expect Space Station to win that one. So, well, look, Extinction, if they do end up winning, they will secure themselves a spot because Supernova will be 1-6 at the end of this. But if Supernova win, then Extinction, they're in a tough spot with that match against Space Station being very, very difficult, considering Space Station's run over the last couple of weeks. Their stage only just started a couple of weeks ago, Johnny, so they were all good. That meme is probably dead by this point, but hey, I'm still bringing
it is taking its last breath.
that was it. That took its last breath. That meme is now dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's no more. All right, Supernova, they're in a bit of a tough position here. They're gonna rotate and just leave Astro onto the point.
Wub is just walking. Just walking to the back line. Unimpeded by the front line of Supernova.
That's tough.
That's tough.
If you're Astro, you're just like, oh, I'm gonna pressure point, guys. And then the entire backline just rotates away.
Bang.
Yeah,
okay.
that's... But I do want to take a minute to just talk about Supernova as well, because like I said earlier going into this one, obviously Ryan wasn't available for them at first. Astro was playing damage, Faults came in on the tank. Like it was a little bit all over the place, but I had high expectations of this team going into stage 2. I really thought that this team could put it together. But now they're here 1-5 so far in a must-win match against Extinction. I really hope they can put up a great performance here today, because we know what these players are capable of.
Astro is getting hit from angles he didn't know existed. Like, just bonked by the spear, bonked by the whip shot. Good kill onto Zomba, though. That's the second for Jutsu. Okay. Here it is. Yeah, little Lampington. You just want to be able to survive. No one going down there is ideal for Supernova. A very late window for Scarfed, but that should be Supernova not having to expend anything in that fight and getting the cap. Good early picks from Renko.
Yeah, that's formerly San Francisco Shock Renko to you.
Facts.
Sometimes I miss the face cam so we can see Renko smiling.
Dude, the face cams were honestly peak. My favorite face cam is still Super Rich with tiny mug versus Gouchue with huge bottle bigger than his head. That was peak.
That was peak. That was peak. Deadeye from Jutsu here.
Run, Wub. Run.
Oh, Zomba.
I mean, Wub, they want Wub dead. Well, Astro ends up killing the lamp, but that's about it. Oh, I tell a lie. It's actually Scuff too. Ryan lands a post bomb kill onto Nenwai, but still Wub comes out on top.
Wub Nation, very much alive still. Any celebrations recently? Any Discord meetups?
Discord. Well, for Wub Nation. We've just been lying low for a while. It's all good. Waiting for this series, honestly.
Waiting your time.
Yeah. Double support ultimate for Supernova versus Terror Surge from Hattori. She's probably going to want to go fairly aggressive. Forcing out an ult is going to be really good for the team. Speaking of which, there it is. Oh, and the rally bash as well from Nemwai. I mean, great. That rally, I think, needed to be about 3 minutes earlier, in all honesty. That's really tough for Supernova, losing that rally, and Renko not even been able to use that window in the fight. Ryan's going to get the retouch for Supernova. But a very proactive play from Hattori and Nemwai. It should just seal the deal. Ryan's not going to be able to stand up to the front line. Yeah, Astro do be balling.
You got a window. They get this pick. Low key.
Dead. Actually, low key, kind of winnable. Lamb comes through for Renko as well to stay alive. Astro going into the stratosphere there.
Don't C9!
So. No. The ball.
Come on, dude. Why?
Was
You're wrecking
schmoving.
ball.
The ball was schmoving on the high ground, Johnny. Going at like Mach 2. Swinging around. Slam.
I swear that would have been such a sick comeback as well. Oh my god.
Yeah, they did have Renko in a good spot. Like, they had a position where they had the window and then they could just shoot onto the point. Let's have a little peek. Let's have a little peek. Look at Astro's position and look at this ball. So
Grapes got javelin.
Grapes didn't end up going for the retouch there. Yeah, got pushed away from Hattori by that javelin. So
I can't.
I don't know if that's...
That was one of the worst C9s that we've seen in a while. Come on.
Is that a C9 though?
Are you serious? Of course it's a C9. The Lucio got javelin that was like, I'm out. And the Astro on the ball was like, I'm wrecking ball. I'm not gonna touch point.
Okay, bro.
That was
chill, bro.
That was premier C9.
Holy.
I look, I know sometimes we get into conversations just like, what's that, a C9? You know, they only had 2 people left.
It
was
a pretty big C9.
That was, I mean, put it on a poster, buddy. That was egregious.
Put it on a poster? Dude, imagine this. Imagine this. We get a freeze frame of every single C9 and we have posters made, and so people can frame them. Their favorite C9 of all time. That would be an insane merch drop. There's a free idea for anybody out there. Just a screenshot of C9s.
I love that. There have been some great ones. Atlanta Rain against Houston Outlaws.
Dude,
anyway.
dude, that's the first thing I thought about was the hawk face.
Hawk moment.
All right, Extinction, they do end up taking this map against Supernova. I mean, Zomba was, it continues to be a standout for the team. And I think relying on Zomba's Tracer is something that they can always do. And while I agree banning the Tracer away from the squad, it is going to be detrimental, however, to Supernova as well, because Ryan, that is their preferred hero. Like, it's going to feel bad, I think, regardless for Supernova. Their map choice next, they get to ban first as well. Small C9 from the team as the ball ended up trying to get the touch at the very end. Same with the Lucio, but yeah, it's not more can be said about that last round.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult for Supernova to find themselves in this kind of position now because they just lost to Brawl, but at the same time, we know that Supernova, they love to play Brawl too. And so it's not like you're like, you like, how do you find an advantage now in this series? That's why I'm kind of like teasing the Tracer ban, because it's you're taking away Ryan's best hero, which I understand. It's like you don't really want to go like, hey Ryan, you're not going to be able to play your best hero. You gotta be forced to flex over to the Genji instead. But you need to find like an in to this Brawl mirror. You need to find some way where you can have an advantage in this Brawl mirror. Because if Extinction is going to win in the Orisa mirror, then like the series is over. This series is over. So you need to find some way to like get an advantage in this kind of series. Maybe it's the Tracer ban. Maybe you just don't want to touch that at all. Maybe you want to ban the Orisa for Ramatra instead. We know Astro has a great Ramatra to go with as well. Maybe you don't want to play the Bat Break. Maybe you want to play more Lucio Kiri. There are numerous ways Supernova could go about this, but going into this next map here, wow, it's going to be the Tracer ban. Oh my.
This early on too. Supernova the Tracer ban, Orisa for Extinction. Okay, yeah, called it.
Zomba is that good.
Johnny. Yeah, of course. I don't think that begs a question, honestly. Zomba very disgusting on Tracer. And now it's going to be Genji, like you said. I think Sombra and Ryan going to swap over to that. But when it comes to tanks here with Extinction, Bad, and Orisa, what does that tell you?
Well, that is interesting, because I actually thought that maybe Hitori wants to play the Orisa. But because this now just means that we're going to see Astro most likely going to play the Ramatra here on Runasapi. Maybe Hitori sometimes has flexed over to the Hazard here instead. But regardless, I think it's going to be a pretty tough matchup. So we'll have to see what Extinction are cooking with that one, getting rid of the Orisa.
All right, let's load in. Extinction, they got a point under their belt already. Do or die for Supernova in this series. Extinction, one of the tougher opponents coming tomorrow in SSG, our last game of week 6 of regular season. We'll see if Supernova can kind of bounce back. As like you said, Hitori, Hazard is going to be her go-to on this map. Same with Astro by the looks of things. How do you feel about this BAP though, Johnny? Renko sticking on BAP versus the Kiri from Scuffed.
Yeah, and typically we see the BAP Lucio used to go with the Cassidy, right? And so just flexing over to the Sojourner here, that is a bit of a change-up. It's going to be a lot of poke here, combining Sojourn's primary fire damage with Renko here as well. Hitori's got to be careful on this Hazard, be very methodical about the usage with the block and as well with the Jagged Wall to set themselves up for success.
If both Hazards just kind of looking at each other and then walking past each other. Oh, there's the violent leap. Renko already burned both cooldowns, but it's good for a kill on Hitori, but they end up trading not favorably as Nenwai is just in. Okay, Nenwai kills 2. You take that, but now Jutsu and Astro carrying at no HP. Cleanups for the DPS as Extinction win the first fight.
When in doubt, just go in. Just go aggressive. Usually you're on the same page if you can count down 3, 2, 1, and then you're diving in together. And it certainly worked Extinction there, especially when you're playing as a BAP. Renko's going to swap over to the Kiriko instead, be a bit more mobile. Don't want to become the sole dive target. Supernova reacting to Extinction, what they're rolling out with here. Got a mirror in our hands.
Yeah, straight up mirror. Some are going pretty low. All good. Classic payload spot to be held in for the time being. Ryan trying to find Zomba on an off angle. I think a couple of nice right clicks actually forces the deflect there from Zomba. You heard that, and I think Ryan's going to try and pounce on this one. Yeah, straight to the backline as well as Grapes. Oh, but wait, where'd Grapes go? Nemwai kind of schooled Grapes there, something crazy. I mean, both Zomba and Grapes, Nemwai come up with the kills on Grapes and Ryan. This is going from bad to worse from Supernova.
Yeah, this is looking real rough. I mean, when you commit that much with the Lucio and Genji, you need to find the pick. Because they just went in fully expecting to find the pick that would make a difference in that fight, but instead Grapes got picked and it just all fell apart for Supernova real quick. When you're playing a mirror like this, you just need a small little bit of an advantage going your way, and Supernova failing to dive there.
They're just gonna rush. They want as many meters as humanly possible. Zomba even pulling the blade. Okay, well, that was the blade.
That was a good push. Cool.
Like a Halloween decoration there. A little scary, but it doesn't really do anything. 90 meters for Extinction. Yeah, really good push. And they can like reset here too. They still have this sound barrier from them. Like, if they want to keep going, they can.
They are in a spot though, Jaws, here where they can already make things messy. Force Supernova to use ults here, but oh, that's like a brilliant pick from Renko, because it now allows Supernova to get back here. Although, ults invested.
Nemwai is in. Yeah, Nemwai says it's time to go. They're doing a trading though. A 2-for-1 support ultimate there. Nemwai used the sound barrier, Grapes and Renko pop theirs. So actually for Extinction, that is a sizable trade. Someone has to get the bot, guys. Okay, there we go.
I actually think that's a mistake from Supernova. Like, you were in a 5 versus 4 situation. Like, you should not lose out and commit double support ultimates there. Now, making things a lot more difficult for themselves.
Oh, well, those Hazards, they are very close to each other. Both down boards connected, and both Hazards dead. Some honest Overwatch now. DPS versus supports. Ryan's still got that blade, but the problem is they have to run at Wub. Nice little Sue on to Wub, keeping him active in the fight. Oh, good deflect. Really good
nice
deflect.
Huge.
Wow. Ryan's going to pop blade too. Very extended fight. Scuffs down. Graves finds the kill. And Ryan comes up with another on Nenwai. That was an ult dump of the century, Johnny.
Oh, yeah. They kind of reset the ultimate economy for both teams here. Scott's going to be closer to that Kitsune rush, of course, but this allows Supernova at least to get some push on the board here, and that's kind of the way you have to do it, right? One fight win at the time, so... Still think Supernova have to be quite happy with that, considering their double support ultimate usage before. Ryan, don't get picked here.
Yeah, nice dash there from Ryan, getting out of danger. Getting back to his supports. Map's been flipped currently. Scuffed asks to Suzu. Afraid of Jutsu landing another railgun shot, but here comes the rush. And now Supernova have to make a choice because this bot is going to get stolen. That pressure from the Suzu. Make sure the bot just slips through their hands.
Just a quick flip though. Didn't lose too much, but if you do lose this fight, you really put yourself in a hole now where Extinction surely will get across 100 meters.
Yeesh. Ooh. Grapes was like 6 HP there. Oh, somebody. No.
Okay.
That's a very sad way to die. Squished by the wall. Unlucky. Zomba down. Vittori is also out of the fight, so she's not going to be able to thrive covering fire for the rest of the squad, but it looks like they've all managed to get out. Apart from Nemwai. Nice wall, but nah, Lucio, a little too quick.
Big opportunity here for Supernova. Double support ultimate in hand now. Rebuilt.
Just don't overlap the support ults, lads. Oh, dearie me, there he goes again. A big investment. However, the blade, it might have been worth it. But they still didn't come up with kills. There it is. Okay. Tell a lie. Half a second later, Hittori down.
4v4 here. Supernova only got Lucio heals.
They're still going to be able to stop this payload before the checkpoint, Johnny. Juicy's trying to find targets, but now has to deal with this overheld. So Juicy's going to be out of the fight, out of commission for a little while. The bot has been stolen once again. This overclock from Jutsu, it's not going to find much purchase. It gets one kill, but these fights are scrappy. And with the spawn advantage, Extinction are going to win the fight, and Supernova don't get checkpoint.
Yeah, and I think it honestly comes back to Supernova layering their support ultimates once more. Like they both support ultimates for a single blade from Zomba. And that's just not good enough. You put yourself in such a disadvantage if you can't secure value from your ultimates. If they hadn't layered support ultimates, they would have captured the checkpoint by now.
Yeah. Oh, flashback to Team UK and Cruz screaming at the top of his lungs.
Oh my god, what a core memory for you, huh?
Core memory. Very, very
That's
cool.
crazy. What a crazy pull from you.
All right, so many ults from Extinction now. Stampool can be quite troublesome for Extinction. Astro, if they can connect it with the rush. But it looks like they're just trying to make Supernova make a mistake. There comes the downpour and the rush too. Fight's already done, Ryan, but it's still come out with the blade. It's managed to find one kill, but a nice deflection timing there from Zomba is going to stop that blade in its tracks. 3 minutes to go. A downpour connects. Scuff goes down as Ryan and Astro manage to find a couple of kills, but they're on their last legs. A nicely positioned wall from Hittori. The spike guards don't last long enough for Astro. 90 meters. They're not going to be able to get any more, but Extinction, they've won the battle and potentially the war too. As with 2 and a bit minutes to go, and a nice reflect kill on Jutsu as well. This is going to be a lead extension for Extinction.
Yeah, it feels brutal. It feels like Extinction has been in control this entire push. But I really do feel like Supernova, if they just put their ultimates together here and don't layer them, I think they still have a good chance here at getting back into this push map. Ryan finds a pick up on NY. Oh, but get picks himself 4v4 now. If they have to invest support ultimates here, Jaws, that would just be brutal for their chances in the map.
Yeah, real bad news bears. But they're going to have to do something. Yep. Beat for the blade. Zomba.
Okay.
Knight hits the 10k DPI and just spins on the spot. That's a good trade,
Just a beat, though. Just a beat.
Beat
You
for
just
blade.
used the Sunbrayer. All good.
Dude, he's coping.
Yeah, well, you know, improvement.
Yeah, they've got one support on the left, so all good. All chill. Wow, they're going to use it at the as soon as Hittori jumps in. One little lick of danger there, and Renko pulls the ult. Sound barrier from Nemwine doesn't help Zomba in his quest to kill the backline. However, they trade Astro. I mean, Renko and the rest of Supernova right now, Johnny, they are so split. They're finding these little picks, but the bot's been stolen, and Titori has gotten forward spawns for the team.
This is dropping Bolognese all over the floor, kind of messy. You just muck up the game. And Supernova, I mean, they find a couple of picks here. Astro gets isolated, gets picked off, and you know, you steal the bot. Like, it's just a nightmare. Now Supernova, they have to keep winning these fights economically for their ultimates to get back into the map.
Oh no!
You gotta be die to the downpour.
Yeah, that's sad.
That's tough.
Bolognese, they spilt their drink. Oh no. Well, Astro's found 2. Make that 3.
Okay.
Tori, he's still alive though.
They're pushing.
But again, it's trades, Johnny. There's 30 seconds left. And look at the bot's positioning right now. It's only just in the mid. It's not even the mid on their side. It's on their side.
You need a big moment from your damage players. You're up against the Kitsune Rush from Scuffed. Ryan or Jutsu need to clutch it up here.
Well, here comes the overclock first from Jutsu. Clutching up required, but look at Extinction there. Disappeared in the periphery of Supernova. And now Jutsu, without a hope and a prayer in the backline, surviving on 1 HP for half a second before torn down. Extinction gonna win the map. Find themselves on match point as well as Supernova. Scattered to the stars, Johnny. This is their final chance. Their final chance is next map right now. They need to bring this to a map 5 to even see a hope of going to the playoffs.
Yeah, like we said, a bit of a must-win matchup here for Supernova if they want to avoid promotion and relegation, and maybe the pressure is just getting to them. I mean, these are simple but very costly mistakes in their ultimate economy, and just seemingly aren't able to put it together. I think they're making Extinction. I think they're making life easy for Extinction here, because if you're Extinction, you don't need to, you don't need to commit too many mistakes yourself. You don't need to force anything. You know that the game will kind of just come to you if you just play sound Overwatch, the fundamentals. And this has been Extinction so far up 2-0 here of Supernova. I think they really need to get things together here, heading into our third and potentially last map.
Their final hope. Keeping themselves out of that relegation spot. Being there with Dildux, of course. And both Supernova and Dildux were the promotion relegation teams from stage 1. They made it all the way to mess with the big dogs in OWCS NA. I mean, now you can't ban the Tracer either way from Zomba, so we're gonna... And looking at the map pool, like, there's a lot of Tracer-friendly maps. I mean, at least Ryan can play it as well. Scrappy fight, though. 30 to 35. Like, considering the meterage difference, actually, the scoreboard looks a lot closer than I thought, actually.
Yeah, it's like I said, I think Supernova, I think they were very much in that map. If they just hadn't layered some of their support ultimates, I felt like they had a really good chance there. But committed a few too many mistakes, and that made all the difference for Extinction. So yeah, there was a big gap when it came to the meterage, but I really felt like Supernova was in that one. It was a closer map than the meterage difference really tells us here. So yeah. Going into our third map here, Supernova, they love to play Brawl. Obviously, a lot of pressure, like you mentioned, on Ryan to step up here in the Tracer duel and really take it to Zomba, because that's just going to come your way all series long, right? And so the question for Supernova is, can they level up in the backline, and can Ryan really take it to Zomba and maybe reverse sweep to stay alive here in OWCS?
Yeah, we're just going to take a quick break. Just going to give Supernova a couple of minutes here to recollect their thoughts and think of a way they can get back in this series. They need a reverse sweep now to keep themselves out of that promotion relegation spot. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Map number 3 coming up next. All right, welcome back. Extinction versus Supernova. Supernova's final chance. We're going to Circuit Royale as our map, Johnny. As we do see a couple of substitutions come in. Not too surprised here, obviously, especially the tank line for Extinction. MVM for Zomba is coming in for the DPS. So can't imagine we're seeing Tracer on this map, so this does make sense. Supernova, sorry, not Extinction for the tank swap, as False subs in for Astro.
Yeah, and False has been subbed in a few times here for Supernova. I've seen False on Midtown, for example, plays some Ramatra, but also plays some Diva. Over on Circuit Royale, so False has been, part of the lineup when you do flex over to some of these maps and you need something a little bit different from Vittori's, or not Vittori's, sorry, from Astro's tank pool rather. So let's see what Supernova got cooked up here. Maybe they're thinking so far the series hasn't really gone our way. We need to change things up, move over to Circuit Royale. And, well, it's a bit of a stab in the dark here because guess how many times Extinction have played Circuit Royale this stage?
Well,
0.
Judging by the way you asked that, yeah, 0.
Extinction hasn't played Circuit Royale so far this stage, so you don't know what you're gonna get. But they probably scrimmed each other, I suppose. So
yeah, probably played it a bunch in scrims. Lifeweaver? BAP? It's got to be, right? Renko, at least, surely. Preference to play the BAP.
Extinction strikes me as like a double poke Pharah team.
A double poke Pharah team. I mean, I don't think Pharah's too bad on this map, honestly.
NVM on the Pharah.
Yeah.
Put Wob on, like, I don't know, the Soch or Freya. You know?
Ooh, viewer pred. 53% 47. Oof.
Wow.
Supernova fans in the chat currently. Maybe weeping a little bit. Maybe a single tear rolling down the cheek.
That chat, I'm like a little disappointed in the viewer preds here. Really? We're not going to give Extinction any credit? All right, it's your channel points, not mine.
47% of them did. I mean, it's pretty close.
Yeah, shout out to the 47. I feel like going into this matchup, I felt like maybe it was more of like a 40-60 in favor of Extinction.
Me when I play Hitman. Shout out to 47. All right, let's jump into the game. I mean, I can make an even deeper cut. Shout out Timothy Oliphant in the hit movie Hitman.
Okay.
That's a good film, actually. People hate it, but it's actually a decent one. May banned by Supernova and Extinction banning the Ana, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're playing against Supernova, you're going up against Renko, bit of an Ana specialist in the past, of course. So maybe you're just like, we don't want to deal with Renko on the Ana. Renko on Ana is too powerful, and we saw in our previous series just like how impactful an Ana can really be on Circuit Royale. So it can be a massive headache having to play around biotic grenades and, you know, individual nano stuff like that. So I don't blame them if they want to get rid of it. All right, yo, look at these compositions. My goodness.
Let's go.
All right. Well, okay. It returned to normal.
Come on, NY. No. Go back and spawn. Play the Weaver. I want to see this, though. Supernova's comp. We've seen a lot of Zarya, man. Like, a lot of Zarya. A lot more than I thought this stage. And this map is kind of the Zarya specialty, honestly. We've seen a lot more than I anticipated. Not like we've seen her, like, perma. But
that's fair. But I feel like teams responsible for most of the Zarya have been, like, Supernova and Dildux.
And false with
a couple of teams playing the Zarya. So I don't know. We've seen more Zarya, I suppose.
At least we've seen the Alari from Renko. Heavy poke comp, my word. This is... You couldn't ask for a better poke comp, actually, if you're Supernova. I guess maybe the Sig would be better than the Arisa if you want to go, like, pure 100% poke, but it'll do.
I mean, tough to deal with all this poke, but honestly, if I'm Extinction, like, I don't really care. I think we have a decent chance of getting on top of some of these individuals and finding picks ourselves. You know, obviously you can't fight here in the streets phase, but if we're tactical about it, we can get to players like Ryan. Traded out though by Grapes.
Yeah, this comp is gonna struggle a little bit. The May ban kind of perfectly placed for Supernova, I think. I mean, May would be a very decent counter to hit this. You can poke, you can obviously wall off the tank as well. So I like the way Supernova position themselves coming into the map. It's already dead, which isn't good. And there is someone behind right now. Lucio, Nenwai. Oh, Nenwai's dead.
Oh no, this is just kind of falling apart for Extinction here. This is gonna be like amp it up from the high ground and just onto the cart and pray you can get a pick or two. What, maybe?
Captive Sun available from Renko. Can be a hard ultimate to pop off with. Saw an interview with Gala earlier on this week saying, like, sometimes you just got to throw it in. Doesn't matter if it gets 100% accuracy. Nice bolus there from Wub, but False eats that up.
It was enough though. Extinction, able to salvage things. And Supernova not quite able to get the picks required there. I mean, they had a couple of ults there and just got beaten to the ground, really. You would have thought maybe they push aggressive, considering how much poke they have at their disposal, but instead they kind of like fall over flat, and gives Extinction a real good opportunity here with Beat Blade to again get on top of these poke heroes from Supernova.
Window captures Sun through it. That's a lot of damage. That's all I'm saying. Realistic.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this. Well, there's the window. Oh, there's the capture Sun. It's through. No, it's not through the window, but still. Well, unfortunately though, Beat Blade a little better than the capture Sun and the window. And yeah, looking great on the Genji. That's an easy cleanup too. Only a minute to go, Johnny. Supernova below both support ults as well as the bolus.
I mean, that has to be like a dream come true for any Genji player. Sound barrier blade, and you're just like, well, there's like 4 people here you can dive on. Just pick your choice. Just go in there and you'll find an opportunity or two. I mean, now again, Supernova backs against the wall. 40 seconds to go to not be relegated.
Oh, good shot. Okay, that's going to start off this fight as Ryan dashes to the front line, but now has to be scared, has to be wary. This window is going to provide so much amplified damage. Oh, scary Arista in the back line. False does end up killing Scuff with the Terror Surge, but all on their lonesome. False takes another, in fact, as Wub goes down, but Hattori is going to be able to stand strong in this front line, but locking someone down now as the Ram is going to be tough. So much mobility on the side of Supernova right now. Nemwai was trying to taxi the Ram to kill Grapes and Renko, but they couldn't quite find the kill. OT approaching. 2 players from Extinction left to try and touch, and MVM dies. And the Diva comes back as Nemwai gets the touch, and even a lamp too to try and stay up. But no, there it is, and a kill and a cap for Supernova.
Now, Supernova drastically changed things up here now on a Diva composition with the Lucio Bap instead. Capping that first point, critical to give themselves a chance here on Circuit Royale. Instead of poking, sitting back, now it's all about that pace. And with this Diva, can you go aggressive enough? Can you isolate a couple of these players? Jutsu has the bola shot. A well-timed bola shot could make all the difference in these eerily similar compositions.
That is a long-range window from Renko. Getting hit by the bolts too, which is kind of frustrating, but it is going to force the hand of Extinction here. So they're going to give up space on the corner. Oh, that was a good connection. Here. Yeah. That's a really good connection. Bolus hits around the column.
That's crazy.
Nice aim from Wub there. Yeah, Renko on the high ground too. He's dead for sure.
I feel like Wub is just such a consistent hitscan player. Like,
yeah,
we talk a lot about Somba. You know, obviously great performance on the Tracer every single series. But Wub is just, you know, consistently doing work, finding picks here and there's, contributes. And in moments like that, you know, opens the fight up completely for his team.
They're going to play super far up again. They got Beat Blade, Johnny.
They do again. Slightly less dive targets, though. We might have to sit back in this one. I don't know. Honestly, pop the amplification matrix first here and just see if you can get someone on the walk-up.
Look at the positioning from Hattori right now, just trying to lock down this corner, making it punishing for Supernova to walk up, but Tori takes a little bit too much damage than she maybe anticipated. Here comes the blade. Oh my god. Oh, okay. I almost freaked out. Grapes was sound barrieing in front of MVM who pulled the blade. But it's all good. Still got the sound barrier off, but unfortunately your team's dead.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a massive fight win there, investing 3 ultimates, but I mean, you kind of took it to Supernova there and spent a lot of ultimates.
You're just going to get demeched. They're going to
should touch.
That is an early annihilation from Hattori.
Okay, no one's touching.
Yeah, I mean, can you? Oh, uh-oh.
Unless.
Uh-oh. Unless. Nice little boot.
Oh.
Unless.
Oh,
They did
got
touch.
there.
Oh, they pull the blade as well. Scuffed escapes for now. Nice deflect kill onto Scuffed. A single pellet of damage. But Wub comes up with 2. Mr. Consistent on the Freya. Uh-oh, all falling apart for Supernova. They're going to regain some of that space, Johnny. But for how much longer? Here comes Satori back on the case. As it is only Folks that can really continue to touch. Juicy will end up using that bonus off screen, but it is MVM with the cleanup. And that is where the push will end for Supernova, halfway up this hill.
Yeah, and, perhaps a deep sigh of relief there for Extinction, actually, that they're able to make that defense happen, because it felt like they kind of let Supernova back into that one. You know, probably 3 ultimates to fight prior, and then Hitori goes super aggressive with the Annihilation, but Supernova find a way to touch there. At the end of the day, though, it works out in Extinction's favor, which means they were always right to begin with. And they're going to have a really good chance to close this series out. And take a look at the stats. I mean, it's mightily impressive. What to expect, of course. Yeah, I mean, it is. By the way, I just have to mention this, by the way. We're in the middle of, you know, there's a lot of playoffs going on, NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs. So I have to sneak in a sports reference.
Okay.
And I know you're not a sports head, but maybe, you know, just maybe, Wub is the Pascal Siakam of Fitzcam players. If you know in chat. If you don't, that's okay. Anyway. Extinction here on the attack, Jaws.
I mean, I don't.
Wub's on the tour.
I'm not a sports guy. I'm going to be honest.
I know you're not a sports guy, Jaws, but I still felt like I had to bring it up for the viewers, because some of the viewers, they are sports fans. I'm bridging the gap. I'm trying to make us all get along.
I like that.
I'll explain it to you on it off stream. Don't worry about it.
I can't wait.
Right now, I'm going to focus on Lenwar's concert. Yeah.
Well, not for long, as the gate's going to open. And Extinction have a very clear goal in mind here. A 3-0, eliminating Supernova from the regular season and dropping them down to that promotion relegation. 3.5 minutes, and there, off to a kind of a lightning start here, as Supernova decided to hold back on this second corner.
Yeah, they're really not doing themselves, giving them a lot of room for error here. They're all kind of poking, you know, Falls, he's kind of peeking away from this corner, though. Like, at any moment, they could amp it up here and get around it, but it does seem like, yeah, this is going to be Supernova letting the corner go. Extinction, wide swinging.
Doesn't him getting booped away by Nemwai. Very aggressive angles for Supernova right now. They're eventually checked by NVM.
Building ultimates here. The Extinction very happy to just build this orbital raid. Nemwai is going to go down. Sure, right, that stings, sets you back a little bit. It's not going to be the end of the world.
Is in order. Okay, all good. Nice reset dash there by Riot. Oh, there's still someone alive. Okay, it was well. Wiped out with 2.
All right, so that's a start for Supernova here. Love to see how they're gonna work Renko into this matchup now, because Extinction obviously playing the Juno Lucio. They're gonna play with a lot of pace. They're gonna build this orbital ray, which will be a dominant force that you can have to kite if you're Supernova. But they have this bola shot, they have this amplification matrix, and they need to find a way to get value from these ultimates, working around the pace from Extinction. Oh, Ryan.
Still on to Ryan.
Big pick from Wub.
These sound barriers are coming online in just a moment as well. Johnny, they're actually gonna just use this window. Supernova don't want to go down right now. Want to be able to buy enough time for Ryan to come back, even use the sound barrier, but they're getting absolutely nothing done with it. And Nemwai, they've got a sound barrier in like 1%. Like, this is just going to be a beat Blade, which they've done for the last like 3 or 4 fights in a row. Sound barrier, Blade, MVM doesn't even get it, but it's all good. MVM still getting kills. And now, a Supernova, they're truly on their last legs. And
oh boy.
Looks like False is even going to use this Annihilation to try and keep this point alive, but the payload is slowly moving in. And the body block on False is quite devious.
Oh,
so Tori honestly just kind of started on False there, pops her own Annihilation, and that's the checkpoint. And that golden box of victory not too far away.
Yeah, just a couple of team fights away from a serious victory right now. And again, Jaws, I'm just so impressed by Extinction. They're just playing sound Overwatch. Great fundamentals. Not overextending, not getting picked early, not overinvesting ultimates. just grinding out this series by capitalizing on Supernova's mistakes. Really well played by them so far.
Ryan has got... Oh, Grapes! Grapes just gets picked by one. Ryan has to go. He ends up pulling the blade, but what? Just backpedals as Scuffed sends the pulsar torpedoes their way. Okay, it's still a decently even trade, but it's so messy. False locked in a room again as Hattori pushes the issue. Pulse tried to go for the trade. There's a decent amount of spawn positioning here from Supernova, and they've got the window, so they should be able to bully Hattori back.
Yeah, Extinction happy to regroup here with that Matrix coming out from Renko. Could be a costly ultimate for Supernova here. Extinction, they just want to build a double support ultimate, and that's going to be their fight win condition here, Jaws.
Yeah, they got 3 minutes to do that. And that's the ult for sure. Like, the amount of healing that Scuff's going to do in a couple of seconds, like, it's only 10%. That's so easy for the Juno. Bowler shot kills Scuff, though, at 95%. I say it was easy, but it's pretty difficult when you die. Oh, well, sound barrier popped too, and Renko is going to be the main target there of Supernova, and they found their mark. Nice damage from Jutsu, takes down Hattori, but how long can they really survive? Oh, and then why?
Wub just finds
Wub's still alive.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think Extinction might regret that sound barrier a little bit?
100%.
They got 2 minutes to go. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
They could have beat Blade.
They chose to invest that sound barrier in a 4 versus 5. They have so many ultimates here, though. They're probably gonna make it happen.
Ray, Blade, I mean, come on. Sound barrier from Grapes. They end up using the Ray as well, and now NVM dies at 99%. Okay. Name a better combo. Extinction players dying at like 95% to 99% of their ults. I mean, that's Orbital Ray also gone. Johnny, I mean, Extinction, they're kind of dropping the ball right now. Fumbling the bag.
Yeah, perhaps getting a bit too loose with it. NVM so close to having that Dragon Blade, and I bet NVM pops that Dragon Blade as soon as he gets it. But instead, it's not going to be Extinction after 2 pretty lackluster team fights here. No support ultimates on their side, and Supernova now got positioning. Early Matrix from Renko coming in here. A lot of poke damage coming Extinction's way. 1 minute to go here, Jaws. This is Extinction now. They have to make something happen.
Blade Annihilation, Lamp already dead. Oh, what? False with a 2k self-destruct. Takes down Hattori and MVN. That might have just been the map-winning play for Supernova, who have just exhausted Extinction's ult bank.
Good to see you.
It's just insane. Extinction, they almost had 5 ultimates, and now they find themselves here with 30 seconds to go, and none available. Supernova, it's been costly for them too, but they've at least earned themselves an opportunity to prolong this series.
Okay, now they just got to win this neutral fight. Closest thing is NY Soundbarrier. You cannot go down here, NY. You got to stay alive. You got to get this beat online. 15% now to go. It's going to be an easy spot for Hattori to kind of hold, juggling around this this shield. NY with 10% still. They're going to try and make a play for the backline. They forced the lamp already. There's the beat from NY, and it connects. But same with Grapes. So a match of the sound barriers for the Lucios as they fight over this point. NY is going to continue the push. Ryan hits the recall, throws the pulse bomb. No damage even occurred with that. Goes wide completely, and now Scuff's turn to be the savior of Extinction with this rush. Pops it on the point, 3 meters to go. NVM kills Ryan, and now an upwards hill battle for Supernova fighting into these ults. Renko alive for a little bit longer than maybe Extinction expected, but there you go. A nail biter at the very end, but Extinction still come up with the win.
The brawl was just too strong in the end, and they're able to build a support ultimates. It made a big difference there in the very final fight, but that was a lot closer than it needed to be, Jaws. Still though, quite convincing 3-0 victory here for Extinction, which means they keep themselves alive in OWCS and qualify for the lower bracket here, with Supernova relegated after being promoted here for their first stage of the year. Again, just fundamentally sound, consistent Overwatch from Extinction. I'm mightily impressed by their performance today.
Indeed, yeah, they fought to keep themselves alive in OWCS, really, and avoid that promotion relegation. And because there were so many stakes in that match, I will forgive the egregious Supernova C9 on round 2 of Oasis, because you know, like, things can get heated at the very end there, right? It was also Extinction kind of starting getting a bit too loose with it, like losing fights where they really didn't need to, or engaging in fights rather that they didn't really need to take. So yeah, obviously a lot of pressure on those players and on those teams. Extinction is not done yet. They do have a second game tomorrow, and that one will be against SSG. While Extinction obviously looked really good in a brawl today, they looked very solid. How will they stack up against an SSG in SSG's current form?
Yeah, that's a game and a half. I mean, you expect SSG to come in and just win like straight up. They faltered a little bit, but you know, the back end of the stage, their
season only just started.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
I mean, that has been the joke. But realistically, like, the season has gotten easier throughout the latter half of Stage 2.
Right.
So you expect PlayStation to come in with a win, 4-3, lock themselves in that 4th position, and then move on to the playoffs.
Indeed. Yeah, lots of players to highlight, of course, on both sides. But for now, we do want to chat with WOB, because we have so many WOB heads and WOB fans, and WOB Nation is in chat full force. And here he is, the man himself. WOB, thank you so much for joining us. Got a little dicey there at the very end. Can you walk us through what the preparation was looking like heading into this match, and give us a little vibes check, knowing that there was a lot riding on that victory in order for you and the team to keep out of relegation?
Yeah, it was a bit hectic near the end there. I called that we wanted to use Juno on the point and just farm Juno, and like all we do is just play for point and we win that way. But as you can see, we didn't do that, so it took a while for us to win. But we were a bit nervous in the beginning. I could just tell with some of the players. We have younger players on the team actually, so they get a little nervous, especially when this is a high stakes game. But they pulled through, so I'm really proud of them.
Yeah, how do you feel about the matchup against Space Station with yourselves, obviously currently at 2 and 4? I think you can still sneak away with 5th seed, but what are your expectations for that one?
SSG match, it'll be a hard game, but we prepare pretty well for our teams, the teams that we play against, despite like the results we have. It's just been a rough season, a lot of like issues within the team and all that stuff, and yada. But I think we're really starting to get like our groove again with how we rotate our DPS and what comps we like to play and all that stuff. So I expect us to do a lot better in playoffs than we did during the season.
Yeah, I think you guys played really fundamentally sound in this matchup. You know, you didn't make any costly errors for the most part. You just capitalized on the mistakes of Supernova. And, you know, you didn't get picked too early. You didn't waste ultimates. Secured value most of the time. It looked really good from you guys. So could you perhaps give a bit of a peek behind the curtain, or just like what you guys are working on behind the scenes when you practice? What are your points of emphasis, really? And what led to this great series win here?
Honestly, just trying to play more comfort. I think we forced a lot of like comps that I don't think we necessarily like play extremely well, and we made a lot of mistakes throughout the season with compositions and stuff that we played, and just doesn't really fit us as a team. And you can see like today on like the Brig Ori cast, like how we were playing it, we just look way just better, and it feels way better for us as a team to play. And of course, Satori is like an insane hazard, so why are we not just like trying to force that any chance we can? You know, like Supernova, like I think they knew that, but we just beat them in the Brawl mirror, so we didn't really have to worry so much about that.
Yeah, Brawl definitely something Supernova likes to play as well, but you guys just looked absolutely crisp and clean on that today. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck to you and the team in your match tomorrow.
Thank you guys so much. Bye-bye.